So let's talk about Betterman. This is the movie that's been going viral for all the wrong reasons. I saw this movie twice now in theaters, and I just have to make a longer video here to defend it. This movie is something that has been made fun of online. People are seeing sponsored posts and not wanting anything to do with it. They're not giving this one a chance. It's out now in theaters if you're watching this, and I just think that you really should give this movie a chance. It was certainly a choice by Robbie Williams to portray himself as a CGI ape in this film, but ironically enough, it absolutely works. Now, this is the same director that did The Greatest Showman, so if you like that film, I really think you're going to enjoy this one, although it is definitely not for families. There's a lot of language in this movie, a lot of, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and everything that makes this an R-rated film, and it is so well done. The music is great, the acting is spectacular, and the fact that he's an ape in this film really doesn't detract from it. So no one really acknowledges that he's an ape or monkey and is different from the rest of the humans in this movie. It has nothing to do with that. And I promise you, within the first 5 minutes of this movie, that feeling of, oh, this is kind of strange to see him as an ape, completely goes away. And you are left with a truly emotional, impactful story. This covers like a pretty broad range of Robbie Williams' life, and us here in the United States aren't as familiar with his works as people are over in Europe, where he grew up and where his boy band was and all of his career is over there. So, we don't know a whole lot about him over here, but I still think that the general tone of the film and the message is going to resonate with us here. And I think that it's just not fair that people aren't giving it a chance just because of what they're seeing online. I've never seen a musical biopic told this way before, where you're kind of getting, he's taking artistic liberties with his past, which everyone does when they, do a biopic like this. But he's doing it in a way that I think is just so unique and unusual and hasn't been done before. And so it's shocking people. And people just are throwing this aside as, oh, it's a gimmick, or I'm not going to enjoy this movie. I think if you really sit down and watch this and give it a chance, go with some buddies, check this movie out, take your girlfriend to it, it's going to be an amazing time. Now, I have not met one person that has actually seen this movie and not enjoyed it, which is saying quite a lot. So I think if you do have the opportunity to go see this film, definitely go check it out. Some of the standout things to me is just how good the film looks, first of all. So strictly on a technical standpoint, I think that the motion capture of Robbie Williams' CGI character looks absolutely incredible. It looks Planet of the Apes quality good, which in my opinion is some of the best CGI work. And the way that the film quality looks like, so this movie was set a number of years ago, and you can kind of tell with the grain in the image, it looks very filmic. And I think that helps add to the realism of him being in there. He doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. He totally fits in with that picture. And then also the musical numbers have that same touch as Greatest Showman. It has large sweeping musical numbers, which I guess I would classify this as a musical, but the way they do it is so impactful that it feels like a natural extension of his career and the story that his career is taking, the path that it goes on. So it doesn't distract really from that. If you're not a musical person, I still think you'll enjoy this. It's just kind of, some of his more popular songs and some originals thrown in as well, enhancing the story. And I think it does a good job of doing that. This movie is about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours long, but it moves at a very good pace. There is lots of funny moments in here as well. And I know people were kind of, bashing on the sexual moments since he is an ape versus, the girls are obviously human. And it doesn't get weird. Let's just put it that way. It's not like you're going to be upset about what happens in this movie. They do it very tactfully, and it's more so about the story of his career. And I like how he chooses personally what he wants represented on the film, highlighting the most important moments of his career to us, the audience, who may be hearing about him for the first time. I know myself included, I'd never heard of him before, but again, we weren't introduced to his music here in the United States very much. So I still think whether or not you know much about Robbie Williams, you're really going to enjoy this movie. It looks great. It sounds great. It's very well acted. Some of the emotional moments in this are so impactful, it makes you want to tear up. And it happens several times, and they're not just cheap shots either, It's very impactful. And the way that they build up to these emotional moments just works on so many different levels. I know when I came out of there, I was like, man, there were some really good moments in that movie that were funny, but also some that were emotionally impactful as well. And I just think it deserves a chance. So that's why I'm really making this video. I normally stick to short form for my reviews, and you can check them all out below if you subscribe, which I hope you do. If not, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. I usually do short movie reviews as well as a long form video once a week. And this is this week's video because Betterman comes out, and I'm just so excited to get the word out about this one. I want to spread the positivity. I think it's very well crafted, and it really tells that story of what it's like to be in a situation of a celebrity and why they go through the stages that they go through. Some of the visual choices as well were very interesting. You visually see him fighting his own demons, which is something, again, is very unique in this genre, and you don't get to see that too often in musical biopics. So this movie's kind of all over the place, but in a really good way. Overall, my rating for this was a 4 out of 5. It's one of my best movies of 2024, and I'm so glad that it's out for a wide release now here at the beginning of 2025. So that's all I really had to say about this one. I just want to help spread awareness, give this one a chance. I really hope you do. I took a friend to see it the other night, and he absolutely loved it as well. I wasn't sure what he was going to think, and I'm glad that he did. So this is just a great movie all the way around. Highly encourage you to go check it out. And no, this is not a paid advertisement. I just want to help spread awareness that this is indeed an actual good film. So please subscribe if you like movie reviews. Also, I'd like for you to leave me a comment below if you have any movies that you really love that maybe are going under the radar or people are bashing online for no reason whatsoever. If there's more out there, I'd love to check them out. So definitely leave me a comment down below if you know of any. Please subscribe for more, and I'll catch you at the next show.